in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Yeah. Hey, yeah. Where my mom's at? Where my mom's wearing thongs, hitting bongs at? Raising kids, cleaning shits, need a long nap. Where my mom's at?
Where My Mom's At podcast with Christina P.
Salt Lake City Pootah. I'm so excited I added an early show Saturday. Get this, management let me do a 4 p.m. show.
Hot.
Just because my audience is parents. And then Comedy Club on State in Madison, Wisconsin, October 26th through 28th. My goodness. And then comes Hollow Jeans. Also by my Christina P's Perfect Red Lipstick. With me is Rachel Wolfson, one of my absolute favorites. Hi. Let's do your plugs at the top. She's going to be at the New York City Comedy Festival on November 5th and November 17th at Agua Caliente.
Caliente.
Is that how you say that? I'm
Sure.
fluent in Spanish. Hey, you just moved to Austin. I'm so pumped, dude.
I love it.
Fuck yeah.
I never thought I would ever be living in Texas. Here I am.
That's how the world is.
God laughs at your plans, not at your jokes.
Right?
Yeah.
Isn't that wild? If someone would have told me that, because I'm such a diehard Angelino and my heart I still am, I'd be like, fuck you, Texas. You're out of your mind.
I know.
And, now I love it. Fully embedded. It's been a couple years. And
I love it.
Went to a school function this morning for my 5-year-old. It's they do like a fairy tale ball. And the kids dress up as like princes and princesses. It was so cute.
Is the father there with the huge dick and the gray sweatpants? Is he there?
That was an LA school.
Oh, of course it was an LA school.
They don't do that in Texas.
Here it's actual gun in your pocket.
Yeah, and if your dick does show, the other dads will beat the fuck out of you.
I love it.
I love it too.
Yeah.
And today one of the moms was like, "Oh, it's our last fairy tale ball," because our youngest are in there. And she's like, "Aren't you sad?" And I was like, "No, not at all. I'm so ready to be out of this time of their lives, like I just realized last night I've dealt with 7 years of tantrums.
Oh gosh.
7 years of tantrums, and mommy is over dysregulation.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, I have a cat, so I can't relate.
You're totally getting
Yeah.
it. You're totally getting it. Do you think you'll have kids, Rachel? What do you think?
If that's in my plans, I we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, that's cool. It's good to keep your options open. I say delay it as long as you can.
Yeah,
I really did.
My plan.
11th hour.
It's my plan B, actually.
Yeah, girl. Yeah, and it's funny, and this is going to be terrible, but it's actually kind of hard to get preggers. It's not, at least there's only like 4 days a month where you kind of can. So it's like weird when you stop the train on birth control and then you reverse the train on getting knocked up, because you're like, oh, this shit's a lot harder, actually. All those years I was like petrified.
Yeah.
And then, that's fine.
I'm going to have to block out those 4 dates on my calendar. I'm going to drink that whole time.
That's what you do, and that's how you get pregnant.
Oh, you're right.
That's what they say.
You're right.
Yeah, you can pee on a stick and it tells you when you're ovulating, and that's how you know.
Oh God.
Any hoodles, I'm so pumped to be here with you. I was thinking about you, and like you and I were like troubled teens.
Yeah. I'm a troubled adult.
So am I.
It doesn't stop in your teen years.
No, and but I'm sort of making like peace with my teen years now as a grown up, because I think there's so much like shame and weirdness around being weird.
Yeah.
Right? Do you have that too, where you're embarrassed kind of who you maybe were?
I was the kid, I felt like, because I was a kid that was on ADHD medicine, so I'd have to leave the office to go take the pills and to come back, and I felt like all the other kids thought I was weird for that.
Yeah.
Because I was on pills.
Well, how old are you when you got prescribed that?
I was 5.
Shut up.
Yeah.
That's so young. And are you dyslexic too?
No, I'm not dyslexic. I just have ADHD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because sometimes those go hand in hand, dyslexia with ADHD, and like learning disabilities. Did you have anything else?
They're called learning differences now. You're not retarded. You just learn differently.
I know, you're fucking retarded, but
Yeah.
it's cool to be retarded, like, because those dyslexic kids, they got other skills,
It's cool now.
Yeah.
Growing up, they're like, oh God, don't sit next to her. She's too hyper.
So you were 5 when, like, were you just bouncing off the walls?
Off the walls. talk about dysregulation. Like I
Yeah.
couldn't sit still. I couldn't shut up. Not much different than now, but like
Yeah.
as a kid, you know, especially as a girl, it's
That's
not
true.
common. It's more of like a boy thing to be like that. But
So what was you were just ADHD as a 5-year-old?
also they diagnosed me as ODD, which is oppositional defiant disorder,
Oh, yeah.
which to me means I just don't like doing what you asked me to do.
That goes hand in hand with AD
Yeah.
or ADHD. Yeah, those are like the kissing cousins generally. That's gnarly, dude. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Now I do know that ADHD is genetic, but they say there's also a component to like if your parents are hyper anxious, that tends to go hand in hand with ADHD diagnoses. Were your parents like super anxious people?
My dad has OCD
Yeah.
and
There you
definitely
go.
my mom, you know, it's on
There
both
it is.
sides.
There it is. So you were destined.
We're
for
also
it.
Jewish, so like anxiety is just in our bones, you know?
Jewish and
Yeah.
OCD.
So much. There's so much going on there.
Yeah. So are you still on those meds? Like, do you still have to take ADHD?
No, I'm not. I'm off those meds, but I was really popular during finals week. So that's when I had friends, finals time. So everyone was calling me.
Focusing.
Yeah, no, now I'm just on a mood stabilizer and an antipsychotic. So I feel nothing here and here.
Don't you hate that? Yeah, I was on Lexapro. It's funny because I'm just weaning off of it because I needed it for postpartum depression. And yeah, I'm like, oh, my genitals are kind of not.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
But like you're happy and you're not depressed.
I'm stoked.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least that's how it feels.
Who cares? Who cares if you can't feel your genitals?
Not at all.
But I'm weaning off of Lexapro and I'm getting like brain pops. Do you have that? Did you ever have that?
Brain pops and what does that sound? What does
Brain
that feel?
zaps. It's like this thing where you're like you feel like that. Like your brain goes, "Blah."
I feel like I have like memory problems sometimes.
Yeah.
Like
I always
there's like
do.
gaps in my memory from my childhood because of all the medicines that I was
For
taking.
sure.
You know,
Yeah.
you ever have people tell you about something you did when you were younger and you're like, oh, I absolutely do not remember that.
No, because nobody, my parents are both losers. You know what I mean? Like nobody's like, I remember that one time you fought, you know, there's no
Yeah.
fond memories. One's dead and the other one doesn't.
I was
care.
so hyper, I broke my cousin's bed by like jumping on, you know, I was like, my uncle was so mad at me. But
Yeah. And he reminds you, your shitty uncle. Is
Well, like that was something that like they brought up as I was an adult, and I was like, I'm sorry, I broke your furniture.
yeah, that's one of those things where you're like, could you not remind me of
Yeah.
how shitty I was?
Yeah.
My dad would always remind me of when I was like 13 and we went to Budapest, and he's like, do you remember that time we went to the fancy restaurant and you dropped your ice cream and it made a big sound because it was in this beautiful glass and I dropped it, and he was like, we were so embarrassed. And
He
I'm
was
like,
holding on to that
Yeah.
for so long.
He's like, I know. I'm like, you cunt. Like, you're going to remind me of an accident because he was embarrassed. I wasn't. I only was embarrassed because he was being a cunt about it.
Yeah.
You know? You're like, ew, don't remind me.
Yeah, no thanks.
Don't remind me. Anyway, so I did the Ed Milet. He's this great, like, motivational business guy. I did his podcast a couple years ago, and he said to me, he's like, Christina, you're always the best person to help people that were like you when you were a teenager. So if you're like a mom and you're listening, you've got a teenager that wears a lot of black,
Yeah.
maybe listens to The Cure and
Yeah.
whatever, and like is fucking depressed. Like, how can you help that kid? Like, what would you want someone to say to young Rachel?
I was a Marilyn Manson.
Oh,
and so
cool.
and then I would gel like my hair super down, wear like baggy black shirts,
Sure.
and just, you know, baggy pants. What would I tell?
So hold on, let's go back to your aesthetic, your goth,
Yeah.
and then we'll do that second
Yeah.
part. Because my aesthetic was, I would go like Victorian era goth, like first kind of. I like the new wave, first gen of it, velvet dresses, lace, and then I think your second generation, I think, which is the Marilyn Manson, like you said, the baggy pants.
Grunge.
Yeah, I like that. I like that vibe. And then the steampunk thing, I'm like, that's super gay with the goggles, and like, I'm not interested in that.
I had the emo swoop.
Oh, I like the emo swoop.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope.
Just
And
sad.
you gelled your hair down.
Oh yeah, gelled it. So it would be like kind of like how it is now, but just gel.
That's hot.
You know.
So rad.
Yeah.
So you were a depressed kid?
I was a depressed kid, But I was also an anxious kid. I didn't even know what to be depressed about. Like, it was like, strap in, like, just wait. I'm 15 now. It's not that bad, but yeah, I guess I was emo.
Yeah.
I didn't really have anything like, I wasn't aware of anything. Like, I guess I was depressed because I was living at home and my parents were really strict. So it was hard to have individuality, and I guess I found that through music and
Sure. Are you an only child too?
No, I have a sister.
Is she cool? Like,
she's cool. She's a lawyer though.
oh,
Not
that cool.
She's kind of cool.
Okay.
No, she's cool.
Was she like perfect? Was she like you, or was
she was? It's not that she was perfect, but I guess I was like the rough draft and she was the final copy.
Got you. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Wait, sorry, she's older than you?
younger.
Oh, younger. Yeah. The first kid's always the burnt pancake.
I'm
as
the
they say.
experimental child.
Yeah, it's kind of true because you learn like, oh, you don't need to do this much. At least I overcompensated with my first kid. And I think he's like, yeah, I get it. You love me. Like, he's so over me. And then the little guy, you pull back a little more and then they're more balanced.
I also think like, when you're having your first kid, I don't know for everyone, but like my parents kind of grew up as well as me growing up. They were in their 30s
young.
and, so I think that it was a learning curve for both of us,
For
or at least for them.
So what could somebody do right now listening who's got a depressed teen that could help them? What would you say to you?
I guess, just don't like force anything, but just kind of make it clear that you're there for them.
Yeah.
And that it's kind of a safe place, And I think that the world is super judgmental, but if you have a parent figure or a parent that makes it a little more safer to be who you are, then that's probably the best. Because I can't even imagine raising a teenager, and sometimes like even when you're nice to the kids, it's like they push back.
I know, they're so shitty.
So it's like you don't want to be overbearing, but you don't want to be underbearing.
I know.
Just bearing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess just be there. I know that sounds like not a rocket science
That's the truth of it.
idea, but I think when parents let you know that you can always come to them, but there's no underlying judgment. Because I still felt scared going to my parents. I mean, my mom was literally a judge. That was her job, to judge people.
Right. And so smart too, and probably very savvy and logical. And you're like,
exactly. And so there's
talk
no
to you.
room for emotion there, But yeah.
Gosh, so I had the same issue, but not because my parents were super smart, but they're kind of like animals, like just emotionally like toddlers.
Yeah.
My parents are emotional toddlers. And like, I remember I sat down with my dad when I was like 13 or 14 and like so depressed. I was just like, just on the brink of suicidal, And I was like, all right, I'm going to tell him what's wrong. And I was like, Dad, I think I'm depressed. I think I'm sad. I think I need help. And he's like, you are depressed? I am depressed. Your life is great. My life was bad. And I'm like, no, I knew I shouldn't have fucking shared with you. It was such a betrayal. And that's when I learned, I'm like, oh, guess we're definitely not sharing with these monsters, And then you shut down and you shut down and you shut down. And thank God I had decent friends. Like I had a great friend group of messed up goth kids and they were nice. They were good kids.
Yeah.
And like, yeah.
I think each parental generation kind of doesn't understand what kids fully go through.
No.
With especially now with like social media.
Oh, can't even imagine.
And the culture surrounding that. And I couldn't, like growing up, we didn't have social media in middle school. I think it was my last year of high school, Facebook came out. So there's a whole layer of just pressure, I feel like, that exists now.
Could you imagine? I was so embarrassing. Like, okay, when my generation, all you could have to express your individuality was like, you had a folder, your binder, and then like a plastic cover on the binder, and you could put in like your rad band postcards or stickers. So that was like, so of course it was all the favorite music of mine, and then my locker, like your locker, and it would just be decked out with like Sex Pistols or whatever, and like, but it's so embarrassing. Like if I had a fucking TikTok as a teenager, it would just be.
Imagine if the bullying didn't stop at school. Like you would have to go home and then
God.
read the the comments about you.
Like some little dickhead is like, you're ugly. And you're like, I guess I am
100
ugly.
likes.
Yeah. Oh.
The whole school liked it.
Because back in the day, you would just prank call a bitch.
Yeah.
If you hated her, and then her dad would pick it up and yell at you or whatever.
Star 67.
Yeah.
I love Star 6.
Wait,
You block that blocks your number so you can prank whoever you want. Yeah.
Yeah, prank calls is a lost art form. Now we were the last generation to be able to do that.
Now I wanted to like do some prank calls. Like I was thinking about starting a podcast. I want to do prank calls, but I guess
Such a good
in
idea.
California, you can't prank and then without their knowledge, because you can't record or something.
Yeah.
Without people's knowledge. But
Texas,
do you think they're arresting people for prank calls?
I mean, I don't know, dude. It's so stupid.
There's like looting happening down the street. We're here because of your prank calls.
Yeah, talk about looting. Now there's also a law that just got passed in California where if you work at a store and the store is being looted, if you try to apprehend the person looting, you get fined $10,000.
I saw it here at CVS downtown. There's someone who came in and just started stealing, and because it's also dangerous for the employees to go after them for like a $2. It's not worth losing your life, but
no, it's crazy.
It's still like not great,
No, not at all. I have some really cool videos to show you.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah. Let me start off with I want to do the body count one. So this woman, I should say, I'm obsessed with. Her name is Marguerite, and she, like myself, her parents are like Eastern European, Slavic, whatever, and she lives in England, and she gives like kind of killer advice to women, to young women. I know you're not married yet, you don't have kids yet, but listen to Marguerite. Let's see what this bitch has to say.
A high body count for women is not a good thing. That's what they say, right? High body count, not good, not good. I'm not agreeing or disagreeing. But I will tell you one thing. Why are you telling them your body count?
Hey.
Are you in an interrogation?
That's what's up, bitch. Yes.
What's happening?
Right.
What's happening that you're so liberal with your life and your past? Have some mystery. Have some mystique, baby. If you choose to go on the train of sleeping with every man and then you regret it, just don't tell anyone.
Yeah.
You don't have to. No one will know. Okay? Now, probably a better solution is to be more decisive with who you sleep with. I agree with that. If you watch my channel, you will know that. Because we don't let anybody in. We don't just let anybody in. I'm very big on that. But if we've made that mistake,
I love her.
who's asking you? Who is asking you? You don't always have to be honest.
That's what's up. That's what's up, Marguerite.
I love her.
I love her. I fucking love you. Marguerite, come on my show. She's got a podcast too. I love you. This woman, my mother would say the same thing to me. European women, she said to me, Chrisike, do whatever you want, but don't tell anybody about it.
I love that.
Yeah, why the fuck are you telling men?
Think, some men, I don't know why I mean, they shouldn't ask questions they don't want the answers to. However, I mean, I kind of get like imagine if you went to a hotel room and got a list of all the people who fucked in that bed before you. You'd be like, I don't want to stay here,
Yeah.
But I also if you're in a relationship, there's got to be an understanding that there were other people in there before VIPness.
There is an understanding, but men, when they marry you and they want you to be the
Pure.
mother of their babies and the head of their home, they want to be maybe not the only conquered one, but they want to think that they're buying low mileage.
Right.
Low mileage.
Yeah.
And I kind of get it because I'm not turned on by men that have high mileage. I'll be like, what is wrong with you? You just jizz into anything. You don't fucking care about your body.
There's this guy on 90 Day Fiance who keeps dropping his body count, which is like 2,500 women. And this girl flew out to I think it's Turkey, and she didn't want to sleep in his bed. And the headboard was falling apart. And she insisted on sleeping on the couch the first night she got there, which I totally get.
Yeah, that's so nasty, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good. Guys, right? Don't you kind of... Look, I'm not saying all men. Don't come at me with this bull. I'm a beta male and I
Don't
love
come at
it.
me or on me.
I love knowing that my girl's been jizzed in by half of the world. But don't you kind of want to know that person has respect for themselves, or am I being archaic? Am I too old for this?
I mean,
I think so. I mean,
What do you think?
blissful ignorance is a good thing.
Right. You kind of want to think that the woman you're marrying is clean, right, Annie?
I mean, yeah, sure. I don't know. Yeah, I don't really ask that shit. It's fine to me. I don't give a fuck.
Annie you don't care either way?
I mean, I'm not trying to ask. That ain't, whatever the answer is, I ain't gonna love it. So it's just whatever. You done what you done. I like you now. It's all good. It's whatever.
So you don't ask?
Nah, I'm not a big fan of asking that question.
it's like the military. Don't ask, don't tell.
Smart. Wow.
You know, even if the answer, because then it's just like, where does that conversation go? I don't know. Like, what if she said 10? Okay. I don't know. Now I want to know who. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't want to do this. I don't want to have this conversation. It's all good.
He put his head in the sand. But here's the deal, man. When you're with somebody for 10 years, 15 years, that you got it. You're gonna know. She's gonna tell you. You're gonna ask. Josh, you don't ask body count on the girlfriend.
You definitely shouldn't. It doesn't serve you in any way to. I think the less you talk about exes and all that stuff, kind of the better.
Facts. Hard facts.
You guys are fucking pussies. The lot of you, emotional pussies. I cannot believe that. I demand to know. Now, see, I'm the opposite. What is it when you like to hurt yourself, a masochist? I want to know. I want to know who, when, what continent.
Their address.
Their fucking address. That bitch's Facebook, because I want to check and see if she's fat and ugly now.
Yeah.
There are women that, Tom, like the fucking Tunisian whore, you know who you are.
Damn, called out.
He mentioned, we were on the way to get coffee this morning, and he's like, we were talking about the Middle East. And I go, those guys, they wear the dresses, and it keeps them nice and cool. They're cock and balls. And he goes, yeah, no, I know. I've worn one of them once. And I go, was it in Tunisia with your whore? Because he told me, he made the mistake of telling me. So maybe I am a fucking idiot. Maybe I should never have asked.
I think you're proving our point right now.
Fuck. Maybe I should never, don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah.
Fuck. I'm an idiot. But we've been together for so long. And we've done all these podcasts together.
Exactly.
We're comics, right? You date a comic. You can't
do.
be not open.
I date a comic who's dated comics. Let's talk about body count.
Right.
That counts for a lot of bodies, even just one.
I feel like it's very
I think
telling.
worse than having 100 body counts dating a comedian.
Oh, way worse. Way worse. Well, you got to be mentally. You guys are both
unwell. We're unwell.
Beyond sick inside.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I prefer it. I honestly like that I can just let this flag fly.
Yeah.
I can't hold it together.
The red flag fly.
Yeah. The red flag flying. Yeah, I can't pretend to be a normal person with some dude.
Why do that?
No, it's fucking lame. Wow, ignorance is bliss, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I do think an acceptable number, let's say if one were to lie to a man, I think like 8 or 9 or 10.
Yeah.
8 to 10 sounds right. Is that like, that doesn't make you
It
feel
depends
gross?
if it's like spread out over 10 years or like, what if they're like, it's been 8 to 10 all this month? Like I was a virgin up until then, but this month we hit it hard.
No, I'm saying you say, like if Miss Mommy Marguerite were to give us a number, I would say between, okay, let's be more liberal since this is a different generation.
Yeah.
This is the hookup culture generation. My generation was AIDS, fear, paranoia, warts, you're going to die. So we were not, I don't think we were.
Our generation is like, HPV is like the common cold. Everyone has it. Have fun.
So I would say I think 10 to 15 would be a normal amount for like a 30-year-old woman. What do you think? Does that number sound terrifying to you? Pretend you're 30 and you're getting married at 30. Wow. Annie's shaking his head.
This to you.
Yeah? Wow. So you
Body
think it's too
count
high.
is like age. It's just a number,
Annie, what's a number that feels good to you when you hear it? You're like, that's okay.
That's the thing. There is no number that's like, oh, cool, you fucked other dudes. I don't know. It's never going to be a number that I'm hype about. I mean, even 0 is on, then it's like, why? Like 0.
And something's wrong with you.
It's like there's no number that's going to make me happy. So I'd rather just, I don't need to know. It's fine. Especially, man, that would honestly suck even worse if it was like, what if it was 50? You know, it's like, goddamn. But what if I fucking love this chick? Like, whatever. She had
So
a
did
crazy
they.
ass. Oh, goddamn. See, this is where
All
this
50 of them.
But that's I don't know. That's where this conversation goes, and I don't know. It's never going to be an answer I like, so I just don't care.
See, it's so funny. It's so interesting because men are actually very sensitive on certain things like this.
Yeah.
They don't want to think about another dude dropping loads inside of their sacred vessel.
I feel like
get it.
The equivalent of like lying about your body count is like men who are saying they're 6 feet when they're really 5'10".
Yeah. Totally.
You know? Totally 6 feet.
Totally.
Only 5 dudes.
Only 5 dudes. Yeah.
So
5 is too low, I think.
Yeah.
Because then you seem like, well, what's wrong with you?
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, but Marguerite's right. Do what you want, just don't fucking tell anybody. Yeah, why do you have to tell people? All right, I want you to do it's the stranger danger. Do you know that phrase, stranger danger?
Yeah.
What are you laughing about, Annie?
It's just funny you're saying don't tell, and then you're like, why don't you want to know? It's like we're saying the same thing. Like I don't want to know, and you don't need to tell me. Yeah. Yeah. That's the same thing.
You don't need to know, and you don't need to tell me. But that, unfortunately, in long-term relationships, it does come up, and then you're gonna. It is a sticky wicket. It is a sticky wicket, as I say.
But why does it need to come up? Like, at what time is that?
Because when you're with someone for so long, you got to have new things to fight about.
Yeah.
You know. Let's fight about body count this
100%. 100%. You run out of like your underwear's on the floor, or you didn't do the dishes, like, and then you got to dig into who they are as a human being. That's how you know you're really into somebody, when you start nitpicking who they were before you.
Yep.
What's wrong with you on the inside? What's wrong with me? It's called a relationship, homie.
Yeah.
That's what happens. You got to get to know this motherfucker. I think it's very telling, actually, how you treat your body, who you let come inside of your body, especially as a woman. Listen, this is archaic as hell. I know I sound like I'm 80,000 years old. But the woman, we create life in our bodies, and if you just let any dude just blow loads inside of you, like, you don't care. You don't even care about your reproductive. God damn, dude. I don't know. I'm not that I'm some virgin or that I was a virginal woman before I married my husband.
I'm certainly not.
Right, but
I'm also not like the town bicycle either. I'm more like the town electric bicycle.
You got to pay
the stationary bicycle. I don't really go far. Yeah, no. I'm not the town anything.
Like, I have to, like, oh, God, this is terrible. But, you know, like, I just had someone tell me, a girlfriend of mine, be like, oh, I slept with so-and-so. And I've been thinking about it for fucking 10 days now. Every day, at least once a day, I'll be like, yo, she slept with fucking that guy. Like, you let that guy jizz inside? Like, I think about it. Yeah. And not that I still like this person very much, both the people. But then you're like, I do think less.
Yeah.
I do think less of this person.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, a little bit. But, you know, but that just makes me like them a little bit more too. So I'm like, oh, you're dark. All right.
Yeah.
You're really insecure.
Deep and dark.
Yeah. Deep, dark, heavy loads. All right, let's do stranger danger. This is a clip about it.
As a child therapist, I don't teach my kids about stranger danger, but I do teach them about something else instead, and I want to talk about it today.
Yeah, we know you want to talk about
The
it.
old school idea of stranger danger is that all strangers are bad and we want to avoid them all, and
That's right.
we don't talk to strangers.
Yes.
And this idea can be a little tricky for kids. A, because a stranger can be really hard to conceptualize, and B, because it can lead to some social anxieties if a stranger waves at them or
That's
says
okay.
hi on the street.
That's all
And
right.
the stranger isn't ill-meaning, they're just trying to be friendly. This can be tough for kids. So you can teach them that it's okay to wave, it's okay to say hi to a stranger, but you can teach them about some strange behavior that they really should be careful of. Here's an
listen to
example.
her-
If a stranger or a person that we know ever asks you to keep a secret and not tell us something, you need to let us know right away. That's a strange behavior. If someone ever gives you unwanted touch, so they try and touch you, whether it's a hug or holding your hand or something else,
Hold on, pause
and it
for a
makes you feel
second.
uncomfortable and you've said no, you need to let us know.
Doesn't that confuse and terrify a kid even more?
All I was taught growing up is just don't take candy from the weird guy in the van. But to be fair, that made me want to do it more. So I was always looking for guys in vans handing out candy.
Yeah, you're like, where's this candy man?
I'm like, this guy just wants to give us candy. Candy for a handy, but that,
candy for a handy.
That's all. But I talk to strangers on the internet all the time. So
that's true. So do I. But I feel like, telling kids there's people that want to give you unwanted touches, and then there's people that want you to keep secrets. That's way more terrifying than, hey man, just don't do it. Just don't talk to strangers. Don't talk to any of them.
Yeah.
Right? I think this is more confusing. The nuances of like, talk to some, but not to all. Just the person that keeps your secret. Just be like, no, dude, just don't look at them.
Also, like, sometimes keeping a secret is part of being a cool person.
Absolutely.
You should be able to keep secrets. You're just going to give all your info away?
That's so true. Apropos our earlier discussion of numbers and stuff.
Now you're just a narc?
Yeah.
You're preparing your kid to get his ass beat. No friends. Keep a secret, bro.
Yeah, and this is also going to scare them for like sex later, unwanted touch. Like most of the touches are unwanted in
and
the
most
beginning.
of them are uncomfortable. But you got to fight through that to find a husband.
Right.
Right.
What are you talking about? It's all of adolescence. The first time you do anything, you're like, oh, this feels weird. And you just push through.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, 100%.
They're mostly unwanted touches.
Mostly.
First time you dry hump a dude, you're like, what is this?
Yeah.
What is this guy doing to me?
Heavy petting.
Don't you hate that?
Yeah.
The phrase
dry humping.
Dry humping, heavy. Oh, I could just fucking puke.
Sounds all unwanted.
Right?
Yeah.
Even Frenching, I think, is so funny to me.
I prefer to American.
French, and then we Frenched. Or fingered sounds awful too.
Nope.
Ugh.
Nope.
Oh God.
All unwanted.
I know. It's bringing me back to bad memories. All right, let's show my dear friend the mom one of spicy behavior.
It's not your child's behavior that's the problem. It's your belief about what their behavior means, what it says about you as a mom.
Can you pause it for a second? There's this trend, which I've noticed on TikTok, is that you have to be doing an obscure activity while telling people facts now. Either you're putting on your makeup, which I tried doing one of these videos. It's actually quite difficult to do your makeup well and convey information. And then the swingers, they love to talk with their hands. So this asshole's like, and then I'm a swinger, and then I the Pineapple Club, and now this broad is making an omelet.
There's a whole TikTok thing where girls will put on makeup to your stand-up joke.
Right.
And that will go even more viral than your joke. And you have this bitch in perfect makeup telling your O.J. Simpson joke, and she's getting booked at all the big clubs now. Hater.
But what a skill set that this woman can talk about, like child therapy and make
Bake a cake.
So she's telling you again. I could do like let's keep going. Sorry.
Good mother wouldn't have a child who acts this way.
That's
Or
true.
a good child would listen to you
Look
the
at
first time
angles.
you ask something.
Angles.
When you change your internal narrative, all of this space opens up for you to
frying the
learn new
fucking
tips,
omelet.
techniques, and approaches.
This is amazing.
Which make it more likely your spicy one is cooperative and connected. Join me in Moms of Spicy Ones. Let's do the work together.
And she's eating the omelet. I mean,
What's a spicy woman?
I know. I think it's a spicy one, right? A spice, but the subtitling is doing it wrong.
Oh, okay.
So she's like, "Hey, look, if your kid's an asshole, it's not because you're an asshole." And that's the fear of when your kid acts out, especially in public, it can be very embarrassing. Like we just said, I broke the dish and my dad in public, and my dad was embarrassed because it's a reflection on him.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also kind of narcissistic, which my dad is a huge piece of shit, self-centered, toddler, emotional, narcissistic. So she's saying that's the fear the parent has, is that this kid's doing this because of me.
Yeah.
I am this way, therefore the kid is that way. And it's not always the case. Sometimes it could be true, not usually.
Whenever I'm an asshole, I just blame my parents. For sure. It's their fault I'm this way.
Me too. I've spent a lot of time doing that. I think it works.
Yeah.
Why assume responsibility for any of this shit?
Take none.
We've learned so much in this episode,
Yeah.
Rachel Wolfson. We've learned that men are indifferent to your body count, mostly because of the terror of knowing the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Not what we said.
Neither of us said that.
What did you say?
So we don't want to know.
Yeah, just that we don't want to ask.
But why?
Because we're not indifferent.
Because of the terror of knowing the truth.
Just because there's no number that's going to be a good number. So you might as well just not ask the question. What's
Don't
the
ask.
point?
Don't ask. Don't tell.
I don't know. I feel the same when a girl asks me for my last ex or whatever. It's like, you don't want to say, I know you don't. You're going to compare. And if there's anything that's like better than you, you're going to freak. You don't want to know. You just don't want to know.
Can I tell you what I'm so looking forward to? Is the comments that are going to be under this clip when they cut the promo about the body count. Bitches are going to be mad. Dudes are going to be
Bring
mad.
it on.
Oh, it's going to be a spicy meatball.
Spicy.
Rachel Wolfson, you can see her at the New York Comedy Festival November 5th and November 17th at the Agua Caliente in Palm Springs. Thank you so much for joining. I'm so pumped you're here in Austin, and I can't wait to do more of these with you now that you're local.
We're around.
Yeah.
all of my personalities.
All right. I love you. Subscribe to the show. Subscribe to my channel. And until next time, stay cool, moms. Bye. Hi, Mommy. Thank you for watching that episode. Did you like what you see? I hope you did. So why don't you subscribe? Just click the subscribe button and, hit the notification bell so you can get notified. And also, why don't you watch another video? Watch one of these. You know what I'm saying? Like right here, down there, whatever. There's so much stuff, bro. I make these all the time for you to watch. That's why I'm here. I love you.